This video is all about how Beast Academy Online works from a student perspective. Please keep in mind that we sometimes add new features, so there might be some current features that are not mentioned in this video. So a student can visit Beast Academy Online by going to beastacademy.com and clicking play in the upper right, or they can go directly to the sign-in page at beastacademy.com/school. So we're just going to sign in here, and that's going to take us to the home screen, which has three main sections: the theater, the library, and the class. The theater has over 700 instructional videos, and the library gives students access to every guidebook that we have. And the class is going to be the main place where a student learns and practices math. So let's click into there. So we're currently in Level 3, Chapter 7 Variables, and there's many different lessons for a student to work on. Let's click on Region Sums, for example. Okay, so I'm right now on question number 3. These later questions are locked because I need to answer previous questions correctly in order to unlock those. Most problems give students 2 attempts. So let's say I'm confused about how to answer this problem. There's many resources for me to help myself out. Whenever a student first enters a lesson, the instructions will pop up, and if a student wants to re-access them, they can click the I on the right. And it's a good idea for students to reread those if they're having some trouble. We provide full solutions for most problems, and we recommend that a student not only read the solutions for the problems that they answered incorrectly, but also for the problems that they answered correctly, because there might be an approach that they didn't think about. There's always a button on the right here which links to the most relevant guidebook section, so it's a good idea for a student to reread that if they're having trouble. And if there's a linked video, and for most lessons there are either 1 or 2, they can click the play button that's right next to that guidebook button and see an example worked out. Another useful button is this playlist button right here, which shows a student where they're at right here, and also gives the guidebook, lessons, and videos in a suggested order. Students can earn stars on a lesson by answering questions correctly, so they can earn 1, 2, or 3 stars on a lesson, and if a student has earned stars on a lesson, then they're ready to move on. Most lessons have 3 sets of questions so that students can play multiple times without seeing the same questions. These lessons down here are locked. Similar to the questions within the lesson, a student needs to get stars on previous lessons in order to unlock these lessons. Parents or teachers can actually lock or unlock lessons from their account page as well. Some lessons have trophy problems, which a student can access by getting 3 stars on that lesson. This one's complete and this one is not complete. And if a student really wants to see which lessons have trophy problems, they can do that by looking at the progress tab on their profile page. Students can get to different places in BA Online by using the navigation bar at the top of the screen. So for example, I can click Home, and then I can click into the library. The library is where students have access to every guidebook. Right now we're looking at all of the chapters for Level 3. Let's click into Variables to see what the guidebook looks like. If a student ever wants to know what section they're in or navigate to a different section, they can use the scroller on the right. And if they want to get back to the previous screen, they can click this book icon right here, or they can get to the navigation bar by clicking the arrow in the top. So if we want to go to the theater next, I could go home and then click into the theater, or I can just directly click the theater icon in the navigation bar. The theater gives a student access to all of our videos if they want to see an example worked out. Another good place for students to go is their profile page, which they can access via the navigation bar by clicking the avatar. And the profile page has 3 different tabs: Profile, Progress, and Activity. The Profile tab just gives a snapshot of the student's performance. The Progress tab gives a little more detail, broken down by chapter and by lesson. And the Activity tab gives a calendar that shows what a student has worked on and when. There are a few convenient buttons that exist almost everywhere in Beast Academy Online. First, as mentioned before, the playlist on the left shows all of the lessons, the guidebook sections, and the videos in a suggested order. If they're completed, they appear yellow. The theater, the library, and the class all have a convenient Browse Chapters button, which shows every chapter in every level for easy navigation. And last, if you're ever confused about anything, you can click the question mark in the navigation bar, and that tells you all about the page that you're currently on. That's it for an overview of Beast Academy Online from a student perspective. Thanks so much for listening to this video.